Gang, thanks for hanging with the Mechanic Ninja. Today I'm going to show you what to look for when you're going to purchase a lawnmower so that you get a quality machine. Got a bunch of mowers here, all different kinds of brands. I got Craftsman, Toro, Pullin Pro, Yard Machines. So first thing that I do when I'm looking for a lawnmower, which you should do, is look at the engine that it has. So let me come up on here. If it's a big name brand engine, such as Briggs & Stratton, they're gonna plaster that name all over. Briggs & Stratton right there. Briggs & Stratton right there. It'll be on the top of the engine usually. This one here says Briggs & Stratton. That one there does not say what it is, but from being a mechanic, I know that that is a Tecumseh. You're not really gonna see those on any new machines, so you don't have to worry about that if you're buying new. And then over here, this one says Briggs & Stratton right here. So the main reason you're looking to see what engine is on it is because you want to make sure you're not getting some Chinese off-branded engine that they're putting on machines nowadays. They just don't last as long, in my opinion, and they aren't built as strong as these strong brands like Briggs & Stratton. So make sure you check the engine. Make sure it's a well-known name. Briggs & Stratton. I think Toro may make theirs. They used to make their own engines that were really nice. So you want Briggs & Stratton, Kawasaki, Kohler. Those are the ones that I would stick with. Okay, now once you find out that it has a Briggs & Stratton's engine on it, there is still more looking into it that you need to do. So we'll come over to these ones. These two have Briggs & Stratton's engine on them. They are pretty different engines. This engine right here, I would buy this machine all day. It's a Toro recycler. Great machine, awesome machine. It's a little bit older. You can tell because of the engine setup. I'll get to that in just a second. What you want to look for is look at the carburetor. It's located right behind the air filter. And look at the carburetor and make sure it's a metal carburetor. You definitely want your carburetor to be metal, in my opinion, because I've seen more problems with carburetors when they're made out of plastic than I have seen with the metal ones. I'm a lot more impressed with the metal ones. This one over here, this one has a plastic carburetor. So here's the air filter. Look underneath, you'll see that it is plastic. Not to say that they are terrible engines and terrible carburetors. It's just, I don't think that they're as good as the carburetors that are made from metal. I would way rather have a Briggs & Stratton engine with a strong metal carburetor than with a plastic one. I've just seen many of these have problems where I feel like these run a lot longer and a lot better with the metal carburetors. So that's my advice to you. I'd get one with a metal carburetor. Next thing is if you're looking at used ones and you're looking at one of these old Toro GTSs, I'm really not that excited about these ones. This one's a 6.75 GTS, guaranteed to start. They have a different carburetor setup. And the reason I don't like these very much is because they're not kind. So if it has that carburetor is metal, but I have seen a lot of problems with those carburetors. When they quit running, to get them to run good again, it's not super easy. The best way that I've found to clean them is with a ultrasonic cleaner, but not every homeowner has one of those to clean it with. You can buy an aftermarket one that you can slap on and see if it'll run good, but in my opinion, I would stay away from this machine. It's getting old. It's got the old Tecumseh engine on it, and it's probably not got many years left in it. Next thing you want to look for is at the tires. If you're buying used, you definitely want to look at the tire usage. Okay, you can see these back wheels, they are pretty much bald. This is an old machine. It's been used a lot, so much that the tread is worn completely off of that. Now it's just a slick tire for you to spin your tires on. So if you're using the self-propel, don't expect to get much traction out of those. Okay, you want to make sure that tires look good, like this one right here. And you want to make sure you're looking at where the self-propel on the engine or on the lawnmower is. These ones, an easy way to do it is you can Come over to the machine. Look at the linkage that is running your self-propel. So this one is right here. You can follow it down and it goes directly to the rear wheels. You know that it's rear wheel driven. If you follow the cable and it goes to the front wheels or up in this area, you know that it's the front wheel and it's front wheel driven. So make sure you check the tires. Okay, so would you rather have front wheel drive or rear wheel drive? In my opinion, rear wheel drive is better. Why? Because as that bag on your lawnmower gets heavier, it's going to push more and more weight onto your rear wheels, and you continue to keep getting the rear propel, it's propelling your lawnmower forward. Where if you have a front wheel drive lawnmower, as the back continues to get heavier, it will start to bounce and your front wheels will start to come off the ground. And so you will have to continue to have pressure pushed up on your handle to keep those front wheels down. And they just do not pull as well when you start getting a load of grass in your bag. So it's all up to you. If you have a lot of hills and a lot of ups and downs on your lawn that you're mowing, I would definitely go with a rear wheel drive lawnmower. If you don't have much hills and you're pretty flat on your yard, then you can definitely go with a front wheel drive and it'll do just fine. But just know as your bag gets heavier, you'll have to put constant pressure pushing up to keep your lawnmower getting the traction that it needs. Okay, all right, another thing. So I love these personal paces, but one thing, if you've listened to my video talking about what snowblower to buy, I like the least amount of plastic on the machine as possible. Because plastic, as it sits out in the sun, it gets faded, it gets brittle, and it breaks. These personal paces, I really have not seen a whole ton of brittle and break with them. So as far as the personal pace with this plastic handle up here, I'm okay with, because I've seen it do excellent and last a long time. Again, remember how old I was saying this machine over here is? Look at that handle. The plastic is holding up really well. Obviously, if you store it inside, your plastic will last a lot longer. So hopefully that's what you will be doing. If you're going to store it outside, make sure you're covering the machine. Okay, next thing is the electric start. Some people like electric starts on their machine. This personal pace right here has an electric start. Very convenient. You don't have to pull start your lawnmower. You just touch it with a key or turn your key and it will fire your lawnmower over. I'm a big advocate of less moving parts, the better on machines, because when it comes to mechanics and machines, your machine will break down at some point. It's inevitable. As it gets older, something's going to break, something's going to happen. So I'm not a huge fan of the electric starts. I have never got a lawnmower that I've worked on that the electric start still worked. Most of them were unplugged, like this one, because the person got tired of it not working. Or something like that. You have to buy batteries for them. Batteries are expensive. The battery goes bad. A lot of people don't replace them. All the lawnmowers I've worked on, I do not believe any of the electric start has worked. So in my opinion, I'd forego the electric start, but if you're an older person, you don't have the muscle or strength anymore to pull start your lawnmower, then the electric start is a great option, but make sure you store it inside. And during the winters and stuff, make sure you keep a charge on that battery so it lasts as long as possible. With all machines, moisture is your enemy and the sun is your enemy. So definitely store it inside or covered. Okay, next thing. Next thing is primer bulbs. So I'm just trying to kind of going over everything with you guys so you can understand. So as you can see on this Briggs & Stratton, it has a primer bulb right there. You hit that 2 or 3 times, it primes your machine, and it should start on the first or second pull. Here's another Briggs & Stratton without a primer bulb. In my opinion, I definitely want to have a primer bulb on my machine. When you have a primer bulb, you're shooting gas directly into your carburetor, where it's inhaling it into your engine, and you will have a quicker start usually. Not to say that this Toro doesn't start well, because if it's running great and the carburetor's clean, it will start awesome. But over time, I definitely like to have my primer bulb so I can prime it and get them started quickly.
One thing you definitely want to do with all of your machines is make sure that you are running ethanol-free gas through them. That will definitely help lengthen the life of your machine. And I recommend changing the air filter every season. So every spring, go get yourself a new air filter. Another thing you want to look at is the blade on the bottom of these machines. If you're buying used, you definitely want to look at the blades. Make sure there's no big chips and chunks missing out of that blade. If there is, walk away from that machine and do not buy it. Why? Because it shows that that person has been hitting rocks, maybe stumps, anything hard. They have been hitting with that to chip it. And so you do not want to buy that machine. It has been beaten. So walk away from that. Another thing you definitely want to check is your oil. When you go to buy a used machine, check the oil. If it's pitch black, obviously that engine and machine has probably not been well taken care of. It's had the same oil in it for many, many years. Another thing that I would recommend is with your tires, look at the strength of the tires. Sometimes on the very back of them, they'll have a bunch of plastic holding onto or on the back of the tire that's hooked to the machine. Sometimes they won't. You want to look and make sure you get one that looks pretty beefy because they're going to take a beating. So make sure you're checking into that. Another thing, check out your bagging situation. Sometimes people buy lawnmowers and they don't bag very well. So before you buy a lawnmower from someone, if it's used, make sure you try it out on their lawn or their neighbor's lawn or somewhere you can try it out before you buy it. Because sometimes these machines, just based on what model it is, they do not bag very good. You can buy a brand new machine, but their bagging setup is terrible, and so you're going to be mad with how it bags. So if you're buying used, make sure that you try it out and make sure you like how it bags. Make sure it bags well. If you're buying new, look on the reviews online and see what people are saying about the bagging reviews. Just a couple more things. On some machines, there is a washout. So you definitely want to wash out your lawnmower when you're done using it every week. Right here, this has a connection for a hose, and that helps you to clean out your deck of your lawnmower. And so if you want that, I definitely recommend having that on there. But it's not essential. You can always just wash it out with a hose, just by spraying underneath it. But if you want, that's very nice to have. Okay, and then last but not least, all of these have different cutting widths. This Toro right here is a 22 inch. I think they're all 22 or 21. That one over here is a 21 inch. I believe that's a 22. And yeah, they're all mostly going to be 21, 22. And then you get into your bigger machines that are a lot more expensive. But your basic lawnmower for a household is around 21, 22 inch, unless you go into more expensive models. So just keep that in mind, how big your property is. Obviously you want to take and be able to cut as much width as you can with each pass. So keep that in mind when you're buying a lawnmower. One last thing, I don't necessarily recommend a certain brand to you. Most lawnmowers are built the same to a point. The main thing you want to check is the engine, and then look around and see how much plastic it has on it, and then be warned that the plastic probably will break or rot over time with the sun. So main thing, you're pretty safe with Toro. I'm very impressed with Toro. So if you want to buy blindly and just go buy without having to look at anything, I'd say you're pretty safe with a Toro. But the other machines I would definitely look into, and I would definitely recommend looking into Toro. But if you want to buy blindly, they're a great brand and usually have a wonderful product. Another thing that I recommend, sorry I keep saying that it's the last thing, but things keep coming to my mind. You can also get a lawnmower that is not propelled at all. It's just 100% push. I love the push lawnmowers for a couple reasons. One is there's less moving parts. Self-propel is another thing that can break or go bad on you when you're running your machine, because it will break down over time, depending on how you treat it. And the self-propel normally will go out at some point. So if you have just a straight push, lawnmower, like this yard machine over here, then there's not a self-propel drive that's going to break down on you. So if you want the most maintenance-free, less likely to break down, then I would go with a push lawnmower, and it will hopefully last you a long time depending upon how you treat it. But at least you don't have to worry about the self-propel going out, so it won't cost you money down the road with that. Okay, well, that is my video on how and what to look for when you're buying a push lawnmower. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope that you can find a good machine. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them down in the comments. I'll try to answer them. But just be careful out there with what you're buying. Make sure that your machine is not smoking when you go to, obviously, when you go to buy one from a used person. Make sure it's not smoking or putting out any black or white smoke. Just a couple tips, and go ahead and like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I want to put these videos out so I can help you guys make good decisions with your machines. And if you end up buying a lawnmower and it has a problem, go ahead and check out my other videos. I'm going to be putting out videos on how to fix your machines. So if your machine breaks, it's not the end of the world. Just jump over here to Mechanic Ninja and I'll show you how to fix it. Have a great day.